Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Oh, who is so ready for tonight's live stream, baby? Let's go. The poll question is so lit tonight. We got a fantasy draft lined up for you tonight as well. Are you kidding me? All right. Look, I have never been so excited to do a live stream. Like, for real, we are so close. This is the final Saturday with no college football. We say hi to Cliff. We say hi to Reed. We say hi to Cuban. We say hi to Cody. We say hi to Trey. We say hi to Roger. Okay? So, as you guys can see, we're trying out some new live stream technology. Let me know in the chat how it looks. You see the StreamYard thing. I'm trying out their technology. And, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Just trying something new as we get ready for a brand new season, trying to upgrade everything for you on the live stream tonight. Now, what's very interesting, because obviously the scrimmage is the big story. So today, the LSU Tiger tackle football team, they actually did something very interesting. They had another scrimmage today, and apparently Devonta Lee was the guy that is starting to rise up the depth charts, okay? Which is a good and a kind of sort of weird thing at this point, right? As we say hi to Cliff. Cliff with our first super chat of the night. Round of applause to Cliff. You get the first question, Cliff. The president of PHL. So as you guys know, Venmo, Cash App, Super Chat, at Carter the Power is where you can get me. 1 for 10, 2 for 15, 3 for 20 on the book bands. As you can see, we are running low. And we'll get you all hooked up. So this is interesting, okay? I'm not going to lie, all right? The Devonta Lee thing really is interesting, all right? As we say out of Trey with a really nice Venmo right off the top here as well. Thank you so much. Jordan, what's good? You guys are starting to pile in. You guys know that the season is so close away. But look, the Devonta Lee thing is very interesting because this is what I hear all the time from you guys, that LSU rotated way too many players. And yes, buffering could be a big reason. Buffering can do that if you're in a stormy region, by the way. What's up, Mario? All the way in Canada. But look, I like Devonta Lee. I love his story. I love the fact that he has stuck it out. But I hope LSU is not in the same situation they were in last year, where they were rotating so many different guys in at wide receiver. Okay, and a lot of you saw this. And I want to ask you this question. This is something Cliff and I have discussed privately as well. And we've discussed this plenty of times. How many of you thought last season the wide receiver rotation was a little too heavy? Okay. How many of you thought that? How many of you thought that there was just way too many wide receivers going in and out of the lineup? Okay. Or do you like a lot of guys getting looks? Let me know in the chat right now, because this is very interesting. Because if Devonta Lee is going to get snaps, that means somebody else is not going to get snaps. Okay? But you go to KJ's point here, and this is very key as well. Maybe LSU says, look, we're not that experienced at tight end. We could have issues there. We have major depth problems there. The guy that was supposed to be the guy there put us in a bad spot last year. Maybe we are getting that it isn't a wide receiver rotation that's going to be an issue. Because as KJ says, you could see more 4 wide receiver sets and more 5 wide receiver sets, which of course is 10 personnel, 4 wide receiver sets. But we will see. I think Mick makes a good point as well. You are going to have some non-conference games as well to figure out this chemistry. So we'll see what happens. But, whenever you don't have chemistry, a lot of you saw the Max Johnson film study we did. We spent 3 days on it. I got a high-level offensive coordinator to help us with it. I also got a quarterback evaluator to help us with it. And they broke down some of the throws for us. Well, one throw. But the first throw from that Max Johnson film study was mostly due to the lack of chemistry between Max Johnson and Trey Palmer. Because here's the thing. When you rotate so many different wide receivers into the lineup, it's going to be very interesting, right? So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of in the middle as far as how many wide receivers you could put in there. Let's see how this looks right here. Do you guys see this right here? Look at this. Once again, I'm just testing out this new technology. Well, it's not new. It's been around for a while. Can you guys see this? It's pretty cool, huh? Can Pete's get the passing game going early to set up the run? So, we'll see. That's obviously a really good question as well. Can Jake Peetz, open things up with his play calling? Will he be able to keep the defense so off balance that LSU can get the running game going? Can LSU? And honestly, I think this is what defensive coordinators are going to do next season at LSU. I think they're going to play a lot of too high. They're going to force Max Johnson to fit the ball into tight windows deep, while at the same time forcing LSU to run the football. Okay? No. By the way, we do have a few slots later for our fantasy draft, and we'll see. We'll see who gets to sign up on it. It's going to be a lot of fun, thanks to our friends at Underdog. But yeah, Jake Peetz will find a way, hopefully. This is his first time going around being, the offensive coordinator, right? It should be very fascinating. We say hi to Mick Leonard. What's good? Look at that. Everybody say hi to Leonard. He's been around for us in a while. One of my favorite things about this is I get to see you guys up close. Look, Leonard, you got to update that photo, man, right in front of the Christmas tree. I love it. So, by the way, Venmo, Cash App, Super Chat's the best way to get involved. We always got to shout out Trey. I mean, Trey, our resident anthropologist, always supporting me. I really appreciate that. And by the way, Trey does have booger bands. 1 for 10, 2 for 15, 3 for 20. Now, Leonard's with his daughter tonight. Shout out to all the girl dads. Trey's a girl dad. Cliff's a girl dad. Big Al. Gotta love it. Reed, what's going on, man? So this is something else I wanted to get into today. Obviously, you knew this was bound to happen, okay? And you guys know the age-old phrase, right? The most popular player in the world has to be the backup quarterback, right? So for the second straight week, you have these passing stats, and I'll read them all for you in case you didn't know. Garrett Nussmeier was 18 of 32 for 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Max Johnson, very similar passing stats from his first scrimmage, 11 and 19 for 125 and a TD. That is via my friend and yours, Shay Dixon. And look, this second straight week in a row, you see Garrett Nussmeier really ball out. Okay? This is obviously very important right here for Mick. Smash that like button. And look, I don't want to get too carried away with the Garrett Nussmeier story. It is good to see him having these good scrimmages. It is going to be interesting, though, because he is getting to play against the backup defense right now. Because there's so many guys that are obviously out, it's kind of discouraging when you look at Garrett Nussmeier's stats. Well, it's encouraging to see the stats, but it's discouraging knowing that LSU is being so cautious with everyone in scrimmages. So, it's very interesting because a lot of you are big, and I mean big, Garrett Nussmeier fans, okay? So as KJ points out, when you play the backups, it does make things a lot easier. Okay. So if you're just now joining the stream, make sure you vote in the poll today. We'll talk a little bit later about the greatest teams of all time at LSU. Which team to you, not including the 2019 team, is the best of all time? Is it the 2007 team? Is it the 2011 team? Is it the 2003 team? You can actually make a case for the 2018 team. You really can. Okay. 2018 team lost to, arguably one of Saban's best teams. Obviously, it was a blowout. They also lost a game that they should not have lost, right? But the Texas A&M game. And then they also lost to Florida on the road. I do think some really weird things happened. So that 2018 LSU team was really good. Also, you can look at some other teams as well. The 2010 LSU team was really good. Okay. Also, I do understand. What's up, Aaron? Aaron, you're our first super chatter last live stream, man. Thank you so much for always supporting. This is also going to be key as well, right? Noel, okay, I got you on the booger bands, my guy. Just shoot me an email, Noel. You got my email. There you go. Everyone shout out to Noel with the super chat. Our New York president chapter of PHL. Noel, just shoot me an email with your address and I got you, my guy. But it is interesting as well. We do talk about these two guys. Ironically, you know what's funny? So many of you are the kinds of people that I want watching this channel. You like to think deeply about LSU football. And obviously, you guys don't just like to talk about the quarterbacks. You guys love talking about the running back position, right? And I get so many super chats and questions about the running back position. And, TDP and John Emery, they're starting to feel some serious pressure, guys. The pressure's on. And I hope they're not getting discouraged. It's kind of strange, right? Rain, yes, you can come in with a hot take anytime. Rain, you've been gone for a while. What's up, man? But look, I don't think any less of TDP and John Emery. Once again, these are just scrimmages, and the overall view I have towards scrimmages is obviously a lot of guys are held out. They're not real games. You can't hit the quarterback. Do you even blitz in scrimmages? It's one of those things. So we should wait to see what John Emery and TDP do against UCLA. But I do think the leash is shortened. And look, I'm not going to lie. As much as I love TDP and Emery and what they have fought through a ton of injuries. Let's be honest. I think a lot of you are starting to feel some pressure, okay, that Armani Goodwin and Corey Kiner are coming. And it's also interesting because on this channel, a lot of you do tend to favor Louisiana players. I do too. Armani Goodwin and Corey Kiner, both out of the state of Louisiana. They're both hungry. They both look like they're putting in a ton of work. From what I've gathered, they're already two of the harder working freshmen on the team. I think they're starting to feel some playing time heading their way as well. So, we'll see what happens there. Okay, Jonathan, thank you for the super chat. Okay, shouldn't we assume if the defense is even in once again, Jonathan, thank you for your support, my guy. Shouldn't we assume if the defense is even in the top 25 nationally, that our offense, which averaged over 30 points a game behind two freshman QBs, we should at least be a top 10 team this year? Okay, Jonathan, this is a great comment, okay? Because you have to look, and I really do like this comment, all right? But I kind of want to pick part of it apart, just a part of it, all right? So let's take a look at the LSU offense. Aaron, thank you for your super chat. You get to pick the next topic. Let's focus in on Jonathan's question. Okay, so yes, Corey Kiner is from Ohio, all right, and Armani Goodwin from Alabama. All right, So there is a difference. All right. There's a huge difference in points per game and points per possession. So LSU actually put up a decent amount of points per game. They had some bad games. Obviously, the Alabama game, the Texas A&M offense was nothing. But here's the problem when you look at points per game is points per game is heavily influenced by how fast you play and how fast your opponent plays. So the LSU offense not only played at a fast pace last season, guess what? Their offenses that they faced also played at a fast pace. And on top of that, the LSU offense led the SEC in 3-and-outs, while the LSU defense also forced the most 3-and-outs last season. So what does that mean? LSU played the most possessions per game. And when you play more possessions, that means you're going to score more points. So when you actually look at the LSU offense on a points per possession basis, they were actually 83rd in all of college football. Their defense was 82nd. So their offensive defense wasn't that far off. And you also have to factor in that LSU had 4 pick sixes last year, and they also had an interception return to the 1-yard line, which on the very next play was punched in for a touchdown. So, when you look at the LSU offense last year, yes, they put up a lot of points in relative to, how bad the team was overall last season or under expectations. But at the same time, they also had a lot of opportunities to put up a lot of points. So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So, that's first thing, Jonathan. Shouldn't we assume if the defense is even in the top 25 nationally, that our offense, which averaged 30 points per game behind 2 freshman quarterbacks, we should at least be a top 10 team this year? Now, to respond to that, Jonathan, even further, you do make a good point, though, and your logic is perfectly sound here. If the defense is better next season, yes, the LSU offense, we should assume that Max Johnson takes another step forward. We should assume that Kayshon Boutte becomes even better than what he was last season. And most importantly, Jonathan, I've discussed this before as well. The LSU offensive line should also be better as well. So, Jonathan, I do think the offense is probably a little bit more of a question mark than we would like to believe. Yes, LSU has Kayshon Boutte. Yes, LSU has, Max Johnson, who's 2-0. It's great, and the defense should be better. But the question is going to be, how much better is that LSU offense going to be, and how much better is LSU's play calling going to be overall? So let me know what you think, Jonathan, of my answer. Let me know if that was a good enough answer. It was a really good question, though, because one would assume that if the defense is better, we should have overall a better record. So we'll see what happens. Aaron, you get to pick the next question, man. Let me see if I can find it. Anything you want to talk about, Aaron? And Trey, as always, you dropped the Venmo. So, yeah. Reed makes a good point as well here. You can't really, talk about Emory and TDP feeling pressure when the offensive line is so bad. That is true. That's partially true. And also, this is something, that I've seen. It's going to be interesting how LSU handles short yardage situations as well. They were not a good short yardage team last year, whether it was pounding it in or, running certain pass plays. They tried so many different things and they just couldn't get anything going consistently. Obviously the biggest example of that was the Missouri game last year, which was a mess. But yeah, we'll see if things get better. Hey, Paris, good to see you. Your cards, I say your cards and your bands are in the mail. And shout out to Noel for joining the Booger Band Club. Who else is joining the Booger Band Club tonight? Rain, yeah, I'm a big Armani Goodwin guy as well. Of the two, I do think he's the best. Just here for the family. I love it, man. I freaking love it. Let's see. All right. Go Tigers. Oh, Paris, I actually hooked you up with a really, and I mean really, really nice card. Okay. I hooked you up with that Tre'Davious White card. In fact, I found a better Tre'Davious White card. I normally let that be a surprise, but I found a better Tre'Davious White card that I had, and I sent it to you. We were going to give one out, and in fact, we got to talk about the card we're going to give away tonight. I'm glad you came in here, Paris. Let's see. Let's do this one, okay? Ooh, KJ, yeah, I did hear about Mason Smith today. Do you guys want to talk about an LSU cult hero? Okay. Who here wants to talk about an LSU all-time great? We're giving this one out tonight. Look at this. Look at this. Who wants this? Oh, yeah, Noel, you were the first band getter. So, Noel, you're going to get this Trendon Holiday. All right. So, Noel, you're going to get this Trendon Holiday. And how about we stick, okay, with the number 8s? All right. We did a film study with BJ Ojolari earlier this week. Okay. I know you guys enjoyed that. I also know for my Lafayette viewers in here, you guys destroyed me for not talking about Malik Neighbors more. And it looks like Malik Neighbors is going to play some this year. How about we give out another number 8 tonight? Right here. Okay. We're giving out a Zach Mettenberger card today as well. If you get the 3 booger bands, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? You're getting this right here. You know you want it. You know you want it. The great Zach Mettenberger. How about that, huh? How about that? Y'all don't want a Met card. Who wants the Met? Okay. So the next person. So Noah is going to get the Trendon Holiday card. Or no, I'm going to let you choose. No, I'm going to let you choose. Do you want the Holiday or do you want the... And I throw a few extra ones in there. 8 is the magical number right here. Okay. So, Noel, just let me know which one you want. And the next booger band buyer is going to get the other. Okay. All you got to do, 1 for 10, 2 for 15, 3 for 20. It's that simple. Oh, man. Dude, how great was this play? How great was this play? How about that, huh? I love it. I freaking love it. Malik Neighbors. Rick's give you Richard Sherman vibes. I love it. Met was trash. We will not have Zach Mettenberger slander on here. Wait, was that comment? No, I thought that comment was deleted. Kevin, what's up with this? Paris, you got to back up your fellow Georgian. Zach Mettenberger. AYS, yes, Blake and those guys are really cool. I got to shout out Blake, man. He actually bought some booger bands, and that dude's just a really good dude, man. Shout out Albany, Louisiana. I freaking love Blake. He's just great. He's just great. He's just positive energy all the time. There's nobody that loves him some Ed Orgeron more than Blake. I freaking love that guy. Let's see. Or if you do, if you want to support, also get you a PHL shirt by clicking that link right there. Okay. It's that simple. Y'all need to do a meetup this season? I'd love to. I don't know if I'm going to get to go anywhere, though, this year. I'll talk to Hey. Blake's big time, though. I'm small potatoes. But Kevin, man, you can't... exactly, Durrell. Could you imagine Met stats? This is a good question here from 256 with the bald eagle. Which coach or assistant will show up big this year? Had that Joe Brady effect, if you will? Well, okay. So obviously, I was on 104.5 and they asked you this question this week. By the way, I do want to share this with you guys. Do you know how strange it was for me? All right, so I knew Mario pretty well. So Mario's one of the hosts on there. But it was so crazy that Jeremy Hill asked me a question on there. That is so strange to me. This guy who has 10 times the amount of knowledge as far as playing and knowing football. Jeremy freaking Hill, man. I have his rookie card sitting right here. It was so cool. I don't know why. I kind of geeked out. I'm not gonna lie. It was so cool because I didn't really know Jeremy in college. He was a little bit after me. But anyway, that was just so cool. I'm not gonna lie. When Jeremy Hill asked me my opinion on LSU football, are you freaking kidding me? This guy knows everything. The guy was like so high Q. His cuts were so ridiculous. Man, could you imagine if Jeremy Hill was on the 2011 team? Even though he came in 2012, but still. But this is a good question, 256. I think we can all agree that the two most important coaches on this team this year are Devonta Jones and Jake Peets, right? Well, yes and no, because I don't think that neither one of them have the facelift job that neither one of them had the facelift job that Brad Davis has ahead of them. Eric, what's good, man? So see, Trey, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this is so cool, man. It was just strange. And I normally don't fanboy. I'm normally pretty aggressive, pretty objective with my analysis. It was just so cool that an LSU legend, we're talking about one of the 10 best running backs to ever play at LSU, asking my opinion. I just thought that was freaking cool. That's one of the coolest things that ever happened in my career. And I've gotten to do a lot of really cool things. Let's see. It was just cool. I had to share that with you guys. It was just really cool. You see, you get it, Trey. You get it. Eric, what's good, man? Trey, I knew Trey would set me straight. He was like, yeah, you did get a little excited. I was like, Jeremy Hill. Freaking cool. Jay freaking Hill. Beast mode. You have to admit, when Jeremy Hill got downhill, for him to be that big and have that breakaway speed, not good speed, but breakaway speed. That was a true home run hitter. It was cool. Yeah, Roger, I think Mario was filling in for the Hunt Palmer, who I also know. So yeah. Yeah, exactly, Aaron. You get it. You get it. And I just freaking love Jay Hill, man. Him and Lyle Collins, for them to both play at the same high school and do what they did, it was wild. What happened with that, Pierce? I didn't see anything about this Jaleel Billingsley stuff. What the freak happened with this? Let me see. Let me see. This is a good question here. You're going to do a scouting report on UCLA after their game next week. This is a good point. So I've gotten a lot of questions about UCLA, and I am not going to lie. I know a little bit about them. I do know that they brought in a running back from Michigan and Zach Charbonnet. I do know a little bit about their quarterback. But Rain, you're sharp. You understand that it's kind of useless to do a preview about them when we're actually going to get to see them play a game. So I am going to wait to see UCLA play next Saturday and then give you guys what I actually think. So, yeah, I think the Pac-12 network is going to set like a Louisiana rating record. But I think a lot of you would agree that it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to do a breakdown, right? Let me see. No, Rain, look, don't be a nit on me. Don't do that. Don't go Phil Ivey on me. Don't get shady. Let me see. Reed, I hope you're right. Brad Davis is a stud. Let me see. That's very interesting. That is such a key piece to their team, too, Paris. Jaleel is acting very diva. You know, that makes no sense. It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense to be a diva at the college level. Okay? It really doesn't. It honestly does not, especially at Alabama. You are not so special that you think you're more important than the 7-time national championship winning coach. And on top of that, NFL teams do not want to touch you if you're a diva. Like, it's a little bit different in the NBA where, you'll take a risk on more of a diva. In the NFL, point spreads don't move if a tight end doesn't play. Okay? That's the crazy thing about football is that you can win a lot of football games without some of your best players, especially at the college level where you have such deep benches. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. You look last year, LSU, they won 2 games without 2 nationally ranked top 5 recruits, one on offense, one on defense. And they were both starters, and LSU still won 2 games. So, especially in Alabama, you can't be a diva at all. So, it's wild. Yeah, Lane Guam, he might get a shot later. It was interesting that Ed Orgeron brought up Derek Davis Jr. not being ready, which is a good thing. I think safety is a position that can ruin your confidence if you're not ready to play, right? King Mo, what's good? I just really think so. And I think if you're not ready to play, safety is not one of those things that you could just walk out there and be ready to go. Okay. It's just not a position where you can do that. Okay. So we'll see. This is a good point right here, Grant. I believe Coach O will have the team ready. So this next week, just to give you a preview of the content going into next week, Esteban, I shot you an email earlier. I believe Coach O will have the team ready to go. Look, this next week's content is going to be the most eye-opening content you'll see. And I saved it for this very critical week. Okay? So LSU said next week is going to be the week that they start their UCLA install, which is smart. I wouldn't, because this is such a unique situation where LSU is going to have this week of game tape. I do think LSU will do some install, but then really put everything into works the next week. Okay. And Esteban brings up a good point. LSU is always prepared for season openers. What's up, Creek? But I also think, and I really dove deep into a lot of research. Okay. So I shouted out an analytics follow, CFB numbers, and they have been helping me look at analytics and look at college football a little bit differently. So what I decided to do was go look at each and every game Ed Orgeron has coached at LSU. And I started noticing a few trends. So next week, I'm going to show you a few trends, one that is really alarming, and we'll dive deep into it. So I'm glad you brought that up, Grant, because Ed Orgeron is obviously going to have his team focused and ready to go. He's always done a great job of that. But there is a major hitch in how games go against LSU. And it is very interesting whenever you look at the 4-year data of him being the head football coach. Rain, Wisconsin was bad, but Ed Orgeron was not the coach then. So, yeah. But you are right. That Wisconsin. Well, actually, let's be honest. Both the Wisconsin games were a disaster. Both of them. when Anthony Jennings and Traven Durrell saved us. But let's be honest. Okay. It also helped that Melvin Gordon got hurt that game. We got some Savion Jones fans in here. BJ, Ali Gay, Andre Anthony, and Savion Jones. I'm telling you, St. James is in the house. Let's go. Let's go. Where are my Savion Jones stands in here? Let me ask you this, guys. Who is the best freshman defensive lineman? Let me know. Well, let's do this. Who is the best freshman defensive end? Dominique, that's the $1 million question. Okay, not the best freshman defensive tackle, Grant. That's my bad. Best freshman defensive end. 75 of you in there. Make sure you hit that like button, okay? Once again, for those that don't know, this is the first time I've used the StreamYard technology. So it is a little weird. I'm still getting used to seeing the comments. Rain says Langston. It's going to be interesting. You know, it depends, Rain, if he actually plays defensive end. I don't know if he's actually going to play defensive end. I think they're going to try and make him a defensive tackle. Xavier's not a bad option. You know, Arden Key is someone he looks up to. So they're from the same high school. Now, if he's that good, it should be interesting. The only thing about Xavier Carter is he's probably going to be more of a year 2 guy simply because LSU moved him around that traditional linebacker and defensive end. So we'll see. And I think most of you would say the best defensive tackle is Mason Smith. So we'll see. I've seen Xavier Carter getting some reps at defensive end as well. So, you know, we'll see. I do think he's more year 2. I also think Philip Webb might play some before some of the freshmen. Also, you know, Sony Fanua is going to get his opportunity. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I could see those 4 defensive end packages. Philip Webb is huge, Joel. You're right about that. But Philip Webb can play. You know, you just got to get his opportunity. Really long arms. But that goes to show you, you know, if you play defensive end, I just think it's going to be hard to get any snaps at defensive end with BJ and Ali Gay and Andre Anthony. I know Esteban's a Sony Fanua guy. I like it. But then, you know, it is interesting. The coverage on the back end has got to be better because LSU, and a lot of you watch this film study. So if I'm making this point again, I'm sorry. But if you're new, LSU was top 3 in havoc, top 3 in pressure percentage, top 3 in turnover percentage, top 3 in tackle for loss percentage in the SEC. And they still weren't at all good defensively. So the coverage has got to be better on the back end. And it's a good question here from Joel. Can Damon Clark get the run fits right? Should be very interesting. This is a Jared Small channel, Reed. Take it or leave it. This is a Jared Small Stand channel. See here. All right. I do. I freaking love him, man. I'm always biased towards 3 stars and walk-ons, baby. If a 3-star walk-on starts at LSU, and here's the reason why, because you really gotta love being at LSU. I don't think Jared Small realistically thought he could ever be in this position, but he kept working and he kept living that dream, and you gotta love it. Gotta freaking love it. You're going to the McNeese game, the Orgeron Bowl? Let's see. This is a comment I like. Here you go. NCAA 14. Good question here. Carter, it sounds like Mike Jones is good. They just can't find a spot for him. Where would you play him? You know what's interesting, Pegasus? You know, we hear all the time about who's a Mike linebacker and who's a weak side linebacker. While I do think that's important, I also think the roles are interchangeable now. And they'll become more interchangeable because pre-snap motion is going to be more prevalent. When you run so much pre-snap motion like Alabama did, like Ole Miss did, you know what they're going to do? That's just too much running to be flip-flopping sides and switching the strength call and rotating. So, honestly, there is a difference between playing the Mike and playing the Will, the Sam, the Rover, whatever you want to call it, the band, whatever word you want to use. I do think, though, some of it is just getting install down. Dang, Dennis. That's bold. That's kind of a bold comment. Dennis's first comment of the night. Hide your kids. Hide your wife. A skull frick. Huh? Dennis the Menace. I think everybody saw that. I was like, oh, Dennis. I hope you're right. Figuratively, not literally. Oh, man. I freaking love it. But that's right. We do keep the language clean. That's not the point I was making. It's just that was a bold, keep it clean. That was a bold comment. It's just his first one. LSU is going to. So I guess that means Dennis has taken the 3.5 points. We want Clemson to beat UGA, right? Let me see. Who would that be better for? Actually, that would be better for LSU if Clemson wins. In theory, right? Because let's say Georgia makes it to the SEC championship game let's say Georgia makes it to the SEC championship game with 1 loss and you lose. No, because Georgia would then still get in. I don't know. But anyway, Venmo, Cash App, Super Chat at Carter the Power. I want to know who actually. Noel, did you let me know which one did you want? No, which one did you want of these two? So I can let everyone know. If I were you, I would take Trendon. I'm not gonna lie. I was a big Trendon Holiday fan. I knew Trendon in college. So no, you get to pick. If not, the next booger band buyer is gonna get the Met. Music. I haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. Creek, thank you for the super chat. I want UGA to win. There you go, Creek. I love the dog. Oh, man. Creek was one of the first viewers to console us about Boog the dog. Shout out to you, Creek. Georgia will be without a lot of key players. I also just like Dabo as an in-game coach better than Kirby. I just think Dabo is a really good in-game coach. I just don't think I don't trust Kirby as much as an in-game strategist. So, yes. By the way, we will be fantasy drafting a little bit later. So if you want to play fantasy with me, we'll drop a link. And I think we have a few slots remaining left in this draft. And whoever gets in for the fantasy draft. And here's the cool thing about the fantasy draft later. You guys are going to get to make my picks. Okay. So you're going to get to see the fantasy draft happening on your screen. And you're going to get to make my picks. How about it? What, your Yorker is going to the game? Wait, how? Your Yorker is going to be able to go to the McNeese game? That's really cool. But yeah, I just don't. I'm not a believer in Kirby as an in-game coach. I'm just not. So it's he made a massive timeout error against Cincinnati in the second half of that game. But yeah. All right. Let's see here. Todd Harris does not look good. I don't know. I haven't been to practice, so I can't really say who's looked good or bad. But we'll see. The Yorkie. LeVar Burton is their only receiver. I'm kidding. Jermaine Burton's good, even though he's supposed to be an LSU Tiger. And he decided to go elsewhere. And I totally get it. It actually worked out best for both parties involved. He could play. He's good. He's really good. It's very interesting that the wide receivers that have decided to flip from LSU have all turned out to be okay. And LSU's still been fine at wide receiver. Is Burton hurt too? I don't know. I don't keep up with Georgia. Coach Smith, you know about hydration. You know about that hydration, baby. You got to stay hydrated. Creek wants to talk some nuss. Okay. So I'll go ahead and throw it out there. Who thinks, and some of you feel this way, it may seem like a stupid question, and I don't want your answer to be, well, Max is a starter. We all know that. And Max is a starter. But who thinks Garrett Nussmeier should be the starter right now? Okay? Who thinks Garrett Nussmeier should be the starter? Pig Cage is at practice. You also got to remember, Cody, Pig Cage is also a walk-on. There's a big difference dominating at Nichols and dominating at LSU. That doesn't mean he's not going to be great. So no way. Eric was in here earlier. I thought he was a nuts bus driver. Right, Tony? So this is how I feel, Joseph, right here. First thing is don't get carried away with the practice statistics. Also, the LSU offensive line is going up against that starters group. So right now, Cam Wire, who probably wasn't expecting to play left tackle, even though he said that he thought he could potentially win the starter's job over Dare. So we'll see. Also, Garrett Nussmeier is going up against a lot of the backups. Cody! I don't know what this comment means, but I appreciate the super chat. Freaking love it. Freaking love it, Cody. So, Cody, you get to pick the next question. And as AI once said, we talk about practice. So, King Ulysses and Matthew are already in our fantasy draft for a little bit later. They signed up prior. So a little bit later, we have a few slots remaining. They're going to go to the people that sign up the quickest. And one way to sign up the quickest is by going to underdogfantasy.com. Fantasy.com. Okay. Go to underdogfantasy.com and you enter the promo code Carter. Guess what? You're supporting the channel in a major way. If you really want to support, you go to that website right there, type in the promo code Carter. The only problem with Underdog is they cannot operate in the state of Louisiana. Don't know exactly why. But if you're outside the state of Louisiana, more than likely you're in a state that does allow for Underdog Fantasy. So you go to underdogfantasy.com, promo code Carter. And with that promo code, after you drop a $10 deposit, they give you a $25 bonus. And guess what? Tonight's fantasy draft is only a $3 draft. So go on ahead, sign up. And we do have a few slots remaining. And whoever signs up the quickest and joins the draft the quickest will get the draft a little bit later with us. Now, this is a good point. The offensive line, if the offensive line comes around, either QB will shine. It's true. It's true. I do think for me, and this is just for me, right? I do think the LSU offensive line will be better. But this is what concerns me, Creek. It's not just physically. It's also mentally that's going to have to get better. LSU could not pick up blitzes. Here's the thing. I don't mind if you get beat. It's okay if you get beat from time to time. Offensive line is hard. More often than not, the best athletes on the opposing teams are going to be at defensive end. Okay, they're sometimes the strongest and fastest guys on the field. You're going to get beat sometimes. But letting guys run through unblocked was such a big issue. Anybody behind last year's line would have shined. 10 seconds to pass. Which offensive line? Chris, welcome to the chat, man. Let's see. Urban Sombrero. That's one of my best buds from college right there. Showing some love. Joseph, the best stats from scrimmage today. Let me see. Apparently, Devonta Lee. Very interesting. So yeah, we'll see. Now, Cody, you get to pick the next question. If you want to talk offensive line, I'm totally fine with that. Let me see if I missed it. Also, if you want to sign up for Underdog, the link is down below. Just click that link. And where it says promo code, this is key, okay? All right. You got to type in the promo code Carter, C-A-R-T-E-R, Okay. And they hook you up with a $25 bonus. But yeah, I like Devonta Lee a lot. I like his story. And I'm going to stand by it. I just think Jaray Jenkins is so much better. Okay, I think we can assign the wide receivers into 3 different tiers, right? Or let me put it this way, okay? How we view the LSU wide receivers is in 3 different tiers, okay? You have the Kayshawn tier, and then you have the tier of guys that are returning, okay? So Jaray Jenkins, Alex Adams, Coy Moore, Trey Palmer, John Trey Kirkland, Devonta Lee. You have that tier. And then you have the 4 freshman wide receivers. Okay. You have that other tier as well. Malik Neighbors, Chris Hilton, BTJ, and Deion Smith. Okay. So you have those tiers. I think Jaray Jenkins is on a different level than everyone else in tier 2. Okay. And here's the thing. All right. Scrimmages produce very unreliable data. Okay. Obviously, you can't sack the quarterback. Obviously, the biggest difference is when Eli Ricks and Derek Stingley aren't scrimmaging and Dwight McGlothern's not scrimmaging. Well, then guess what? The best corner you have is who? Cordell Flott? So what happens is the backups are going up against walk-ons. So they're going up against Lloyd Cole and Xavier Fountain and a lot of guys like that. And no disrespect to them. Demarius McGee, who's brand new. You're going to get cooked or you're going to feast. You're going to eat, right? So that's why I look at data like what Jaray Jenkins produced last year. And I understand it might seem like I'm overselling Jaray Jenkins, but he did a lot of things last year that are very difficult to do. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Matthew sends me a very generous Cash App here. He said Jacob Hester tweeted out that Malik Neighbors is that guy. Okay. King Ulysses, you actually called the Malik Neighbors thing for quite some time. What's up, Ryan, Canada? So look, I think Malik Neighbors is obviously really talented. He also didn't have the opportunity to even play last year. So it's interesting. I think the world of Malik Neighbors. Obviously, this has happened a lot in the history of LSU football. The guys that get into a recruiting class simply because someone else chose not to come oftentimes turns out to be the best player in that class or one of the better players in that class, right? Obviously, Duke Riley is a famous example of this, Foster Moreau. A lot of the guys that barely get into the recruiting class turn out to be really good. And Malik Neighbors, you can argue, was LSU's final recruit, right? He barely got in this class. And so far, he's been one of the best players on the team this offseason. So it's very interesting. I don't think I think Malik Neighbors is obviously really good. I just don't think you play him over Jaray Jenkins. Because look, what happens with wide receiver chatter is we're like, okay, this guy deserves to play. Well, unless LSU is going to run more 10 personnel, which is, 4 wide receivers, no tight ends, and 1 running back, or they run more 5 wide receiver sets, unless that actually happens, for someone to play, you're going to have to take someone off the field. right? So I like Malik Neighbors a lot. I still think of him more as the year 2 guy. Okay, here's how I view it. I view it the same way that you view Jarvis Landry, right? So Jarvis Landry, inarguably one of the best LSU football players of the modern era, right? Top 5 wide receiver of the modern era, maybe, especially if you don't include 2019 in there. He's probably, if not the best. Well, he didn't get to play as a true freshman. He more so played as a sophomore. I kind of view the same way with Malik Neighbors. I just think it's going to be so hard for him to get snaps unless, now once again, Jacob Hester's at practice. I'm not. If Malik Neighbors is so undeniably good, you obviously have to play him, right? But the thing is, and it could just be that, I'm just so dialed in based on, the games that I actually watch. Man, I just think Jaray Jenkins for sure needs to be the number 2 guy simply because of his ability to get down the field fast. And this is where technically I'm not a wide receiver. So for those that actually played the position, if Steve Smith or anyone that may be watching this, I don't know why Steve Smith would be watching this. He was the first wide receiver that came to my mind. If Jerry Rice is watching this, feel free to jump on. Jaray Jenkins gets out of his break really fast, though. That could just be me, okay? He's got a great get-off. And because of that, he's able to get down the field really fast, and he stretches the field. And I freaking love him for it. Sam, I love you for doing that. Appreciate you. That's the thing. And this is and Matthew, thank you for your super chat. This is the key. If Malik Neighbors is going to play and be that guy, do you play him over John Trey Kirkland? Do you play him over Trey Palmer? So that's the thing. You have to be so undeniably good to justifiably take a starter's job from one of these more experienced guys. And what I mean undeniably good, that means you are beating everybody in front of you. You're beating every jam. You're winning in every drill. You're catching every jump ball. And I'm not going to lie, okay? This was my major note on Malik Neighbors coming out. I put more stock into his 7-on-7 tape because we didn't get to see him play as a senior. If you went by just 7-on-7 tape, he dominated. And not just played really well. He dominated a lot of 7-on-7s. Okay. And he dominated a lot of camps. And here's the thing. I'm not a big camp guy. You're not playing in pads. It's not a real game. However, when you're at camps, you're playing against better players because camps, only the elite guys normally go. So Malik Neighbors dominated a lot of camps, which more often than not, you're going up against better corners in camps, albeit it's not a game setting. But a lot of you watch these 7-on-7s. A lot of you go to these 7-on-7s. And a lot of you in the Lafayette region, know Malik Neighbors personally. We have a lot of viewers in Lafayette. I kind of want to do a live show there because we have so many viewers in a 337. I mean, Malik Neighbors not just beats guys, he dominates guys. He pulverizes guys. So we'll see. Depending how Pete decides to use formations with 10 or 11 personnels will determine how many. That's a good point right there, Cliff. It really is. And Bobby makes a point right here. LSU's hopeless unless you get a better offensive line. Yeah, and it's kind of, here's a good example as well, okay? Take Jamar Chase, for instance, who, when you put on the tape of Jamar Chase's freshman year, he did look better. You could see that he was better. He was better than D. Anderson. He was better than a few other 2018 guys. And then at the end of the year, when he undeniably proved that, was when you saw him have the game he had against UCF, right? So, I think that would be the best course of action with Malik Neighbors. Now, once again, wide receiver is a difficult position to play. So we'll see. You know, one thing I'm a little shocked about, now that you guys, so this is key right here, Joseph right here. He didn't have a great QB throwing in the ball at Como. So this is obviously some really key intel. I didn't know this. Let's see. No, not you, Joseph. Bobby. Bobby, please don't troll tonight with Ed Orgeron stuff. Here's the thing. You can be anti-Orgeron. Some of you don't like Ed Orgeron, and that's fine. This is a channel where you can be whoever you want to be. I don't want anyone to pile on anyone just because they have a bold opinion. But please don't get trolly. Bobby, come on. You know what you're doing. So make that one comment, but don't go any deeper because you know it's going to rile people up. But yeah, it's obviously key right here. Coach Smith, believe what your eyes see. That's what I coach my players to do. Coaches should do the same. Don't talk yourself in or out of something. Yeah, and part of it just is going to come down to, once again, and I said it in my radio interview this week on 104.5. I'm not at practice, so my evaluations, Jacob is going to have a way better evaluation than I do because he's actually at practice. But, it's very interesting. It would be, because here's the thing. If Kayshawn for sure is going to play wire to wire, which he's going to, okay, and he should. And I think Jaray Jenkins should be the number 2 guy, wire to wire, okay? That leaves you with 1 or 2 wide receiver slots right there if you're going to run 4 wide. And if Malik Neighbors is going to be that guy and it's going to play a lot, that means you tell John Trey Kirkland, hey, no, this is Malik's job now. You're telling Coy Moore. You notice this whole chat, we have talked wide receivers now for probably 30 minutes of the hour-long conversation we've had. And guess what? Not a single one of you have mentioned Coy Moore. Not a single one of you. Dwayne, what's good, man? The Cash App King. Dr. Bernard, what's good, man? I love this avatar right there. Trey Palmer will shine. I love it. And this is it, Joel. Dude, I'm telling you. Jaray looks so much better on tape. And I got someone reached out to me about this. Okay, so as you guys know on these live streams, it was a little bit different because when you're on a different station and you do a radio appearance, people only hear you for that appearance. And for the first 5 minutes of my appearance, I just talked about Jaray Jenkins, what I loved about him. So this is the thing, all right? There's coaches in here. Coach Smith is a coach. A lot of you coach. A lot of you played football, even if you didn't, all right? There are some things, some of you have personal evaluations, right? Some of you, when you watch, Tom Brady or Peyton Manning play quarterback, you think one or the other is better just based on your eye test, right? So the thing is, when I watched Jaray Jenkins on tape, it was really good. His breaks are smooth. He's good after the catch. But then, here's the thing. Sometimes the tape can deceive you, right? So here's a good example of this. A perfect example of tape deceiving you is a guy like Russell Westbrook, right? If you want to use an NBA analogy. Russell Westbrook looks amazing. When you go see him in person, you're like, what the heck? This dude's an alien. But then we actually look at the numbers and you look at the efficiency and you look at true shooting percentages. What you see with your eyes sometimes doesn't match up with the stats. Okay, so Jaray Jenkins didn't put up amazing stats last year. Okay, I'll concede that. However, the numbers, the advanced stats, prove that Jaray Jenkins was a lot better than what his stats showed. Number 1 on the team in drop percentage of 15 targets or more. Number 1 in average depth of target. What's up, baby? Hey, here's our true underdog tonight. Everyone say hi to Z the dog.
Why does it look different?
We got a new technology for our draft tonight.
Oh, cool.
Here's our true underdog. By the way, every time you sign up, you're paying for Z. She's got her final shots this week. Everyone say hi to Z. How's the store?
Good.
What happened?
Oh, nothing. It was, but it came down. That whole week we got tacos this week.
We got tacos?
We got the chicken that the pasta stuff you got.
Oh, the pasta.
I got chicken to go with that.
Chicken pasta on the menu too.
I got you chicken wings.
Chicken wings?
Got you chicken wings.
Chicken wings?
And some more vegetables to go with the side.
More vegetables?
The meat. We got what else is in there that I cooked tonight?
We got carne asada.
We got salmon for 2 nights. So
we got salmon.
Got groceries for the week.
Let's go.
So I have to go back to the store. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, hey.
How much your love to hey. Heartland, it's good to see you. So we got tacos. So Haley went on ahead and got the groceries for the week. Fired up about that. Johnny 5, good to see you, my guy. Rai, you coming down? Everyone say Rai to Canada. Okay, Tyler, you missed the Garrett Nussmeier discussion. But anyway, I'll finish what Jaray Jenkins saying. Okay. Anytime your unbelievably gorgeous girlfriend walks in and tells you about getting chicken wings and tacos, are you kidding me? You just got to stop the live stream. And anything for Z, right? Anyway, Jaray Jenkins, lowest drop percentage on the team, highest average depth of target, highest yards per catch. So that means he stretches the field. And on top of that, and this is very key as well, an overall team player. We're talking about a guy who in 2018 came in with the same recruiting class as Jamar Chase and Terrace Marshall. And let's be honest, Jaray Jenkins knew when he was coming in that those two guys are unbelievable and they were going to play a lot more than him. He still came. And he had to earn his playing time, and he sees the opportunity. But here's what's funny. There is a new stat in college football, and we just started using it on this channel, called EPA per play. And there is a Twitter analytics, thank you, Johnny, for the super chat. There is a Twitter analytics platform that showed that Jaray Jenkins, out of any wide receiver returning in the SEC, led the SEC last year in EPA per play, which means when Jaray Jenkins was targeted, his expected points added was 1 point. So that means every time he was targeted, he averaged 1 point more than your average wide receiver. Okay. Once again, EPA, I'm kind of new to it, but still, Jaray Jenkins is a freaking baller, and it's going to be insane how good he's going to be this year. Tyler, I've not. Y'all got to admit, you weren't shocked. Okay. I'm a big Jamar Chase guy. I'm buying a bunch of his cards right now. The cheaper ones. Some of them are pretty ridiculous. So I'm a big Jamar Chase fan. He's been the phone backdrop I've had for a long time. Shout out to Scott Smith for making that. And I'm a huge Jamar Chase fan. He's one of my favorite LSU players of all time. But I'm not shocked. When you sit out a full year and you're going up against jams with elite athletes, you're just not going to be good right off the bat. And this could be a rough rookie year for him. The good news, though, is that he does have Joey B throwing him the ball. He also has T. Higgins. He also has Tyler Boyd. So, he's going to get some favorable coverages. But this year could get rough. It's just part of the growing pains, right? If you sit out a full year, it's just going to be tough. But it's just going to be hard for me to not see Jamar becoming a Pro Bowler at some point. So, we'll see. Yeah, I'm just not going to overreact. Okay. And I understand. Okay. I understand. This is LSU bias, and a lot of the fantasy community and a lot of the NFL community is fading the Bengals. They should have drafted Penei Sewell, which you can make a case for. The drops were bad, but come on. Come on. John, thank you. I appreciate you. No, I'm the Armani Goodwin fan club president. Well, I can't be. I'm the Jaray Jenkins fan club president. We got some Terrace Marshall chat. Yeah, everybody was making fun of Terrace Marshall getting sucked up by that Colts DB. Whatever. I don't know. Dennis, I appreciate you. A little different comment than the last one. I do appreciate you, man. I really do, Dennis. Thank you for your support. Is this a Terrace Marshall stan channel now? Is this it? Is this going to be a T Marsh fan channel? No, Rain, you can't go from John Emery to Armani Goodwin. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That's like going from pot limit to no limit, man. You can't do that. You just can't do it. Tyler, that's bold right there. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was talking to a Jets fan last night who's we're trying to make a trade because he's got a really nice Jamar Chase card and he needs to give it to me. I'm just kidding. No, it seems Vescovi. He's a friend of mine. And it would not shock me if the best wide receiver in this draft is not Devonta Smith, not Jalen Waddle, not Jamar Chase, not Terrace Marshall. But you guys have to admit, Elijah Moore is a beast. Okay? Now, look, it could be my bias because Elijah Moore provided us the greatest moment in SEC football history. The greatest moment is not Joe Burrow winning us a national championship. That's our greatest moment. But objectively speaking, on Thanksgiving, as all you guys huddled around the television, the Egg Bowl from 2 years ago, you have to admit the greatest moment was Elijah Moore pissing on the football. It is the greatest moment in the history of the SEC. Okay? And look, Joe Burrow is our favorite player of all time. We love Jamar. We love Justin. We love LSU football. But you have to admit that that was the greatest moment. Okay? KJ, yes, the Marco Wilson throw is great. All right? The Marco Wilson throw is unfreaking believable. But the thing about the Marco Wilson throw is Florida still had an opportunity to stop LSU those next couple of plays. And they still had an opportunity to tie the game. The good thing about the Elijah Moore kick was it was a real rivalry game. It also, and I hate Florida, but come on. The Egg Bowl is just so great. And also the kicker missing the extra point. The fact that those two things went back to back, okay? And the fact that DK Metcalf is the reason why all of that even happened, and he wasn't even on the team, it's great. It's great. But yes, KJ, I do agree. The Marco Wilson moment is better, okay? It was the Marco Wilson one. Come on, it's Marco Wilson. But still, okay? You guys have to admit, and we'll get back into LSU football. Marco, I just kind of hope Elijah Moore succeeds because that means we'll see the clip more. I will never forget it. I'll never forget it. And ironically, he had a weird fair catch moment in that game earlier as well. It was so strange. I know, Mick, this is a great thing. We won't have to talk about Elijah Moore in the middle. That's true. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. But you also have to admit, it's also the pun part of it too. Old piss. And it was the dog pissing. And LSU the shoot throw. It's crazy. SEC football is the best product on the planet. No one can tell me differently. Okay. I know the EPL is great. I know the NFL is great. March Madness, whatever you want to. Still, Olympics, it doesn't matter. SEC football will always be the best. We always do this. It's a little bit late here, but we like to get into some recruiting stuff here. And look, I think the biggest untargeted. I think the biggest recruit out there for LSU now is Julian Armella, as far as out-of-state guys are concerned. As far as in-state guys, you look at the three skilled guys at the top there, Jacoby Matthews, Shaz Preston, and Kendrick Law in the state of Louisiana. It's going to be key. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Le'Veon Moss. But yeah, I don't like to talk recruiting as much. And I know some of you tune in around this hour mark to hear some recruiting talk. I don't get too deep into it because we are so close to the season. And I like to focus on the guys we already have on the roster. So, yeah, I guess Jacoby Matthews is your biggest target because he is a true freshman. He will play as a true freshman wherever he goes as a 5-star. So, it's key. It's key. Let's go to the super chat here, though. Max Johnson's video. Thank you so much, Rai, as always, in Canada, supporting us. Max Johnson's video of him being hyped and running around got me excited for a new season and new beginnings. Freaking love it. It is interesting, Rai, because it's not Max Johnson. Normally, we're so used to him being, low-key kind of guy. But I love it. You did kind of get the Joe Burrow, Jacoby Stevens vibe when Max Johnson in that clip, went head-to-head with, who was that? Was Ali Gay? And they didn't go head-to-head. They just, met in the middle. But that is good. You're starting to see him take control of the team, which obviously is really good. So, well, I like it. I like it. Let me do this. Okay. So a lot of you got on me for my Max Johnson film study earlier this week because I put his over under touchdown total at 20.5. Right. So let me put this over under 24.5. Let's do 25.5. Over under 25.5 TD passes for Max Johnson. Over under. So if he goes over, that means he's averaging 2 TD passes per game. Okay? Oh, Big Al, I just saw this tweet. I'm going to retweet you for that. That's so great. I love it, Big Al. It's good. All the grandpas out there, you gotta love it, man. Over, you're thinking 32? That's a big number. 32 is a lot of TDs. Noel says 30. Right, what do you think? You're thinking 30. Okay, 32. That's right. That was you. We got a few overs here. Okay. God, 32 is a big number. That's like what? That would be 2.5 touchdown passes per game. That's big. 28. I think that's a good number right there. But yeah, Big Al, that was great. I love it, man. Because, Haley's dad's a big grandpa, spending times with the granddaughters. That's great. 45. Let's go. That's Burrow level stuff right there. Anonymous name. Got some scuba gear going on here. I love it. 45 is a big number. 45? 45? That is a huge number. I love it. 28 passing, 7 rushing. I think that's a good one there, Tyler. 6.5 rushing TDs. That's a big number. So, as we said in our film study, Max Johnson is a very good QB sneak quarterback. It's kind of a random skill. So, yeah. 60 for 15-0. Roger, if Max Johnson puts up 60 touchdowns. Roger said, I will not be overtaken by anonymous name. That's good, man. Shout out to the granddads out there. I love it. All right, so Goose wants us to talk about the poll question. What's up, Goose? Goose is probably our biggest Pelicans fan on here, and I like that. Let's go ahead and end the poll. You guys were right about this poll question here. I'm a little shocked. Which team, not including 2019, is the best of the Saban, Orgeron, Miles era? And a lot of you said the 2011 team. I like that. Okay? The 2011 team won comfortably. The 2007 team with 26%, the 2003 team with 23%, and other with 3%. Excuse me. That is wild. That is a wild proclamation. And guess what? You are right. The 2011 team is the best LSU team of all time, not including 2019. And it's pretty clear that that's the case. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. The 2003 team was better than the 2017, right? But we'll save that discussion for a different day. That was just a poll question for today. Joseph, you know I love you, but I do not agree with this because of the number 9s on both of those teams. And I'm not talking about Marcel Brooks. One team had a certain number 9, and then the other team had somebody else who wore number 9 and played the same position who just wasn't as good. Now, that number 9's brother helped out the other number 9, but still. The 2011 team had a lot of talent, especially defensively. They had about the same amount of talent. And the wide receiver talent was also pretty similar as well, right? Ruben Randall, Odell Beckham, and Jarvis, who was on the bench, and then obviously Justin Terrace Jamar. But come on. There's a gaping hole at quarterback there. So, yeah. So here's I'll make this. This stuff is a little bit funner to talk about in the offseason because we don't have a whole lot to talk about. So I probably shouldn't have used this poll question, but I'll share this. The 2007 team, I can make the case that there were some other LSU teams that were better than the 2007 team. I can make a strong case the 2010 team. The 2010 team was really freaking good at LSU. Really good, especially at the end of the season. They were really clicking on all cylinders. So the 2010 team was really good. You can make a case for the 2006 team over the 07 team. You can make a case. The 07 team, though, I would still put at number 3 in this scenario. But, it's worth the discussion. It is worth the discussion. The 2007 team was really good, right? So, obviously, that was a very senior-laden, experienced team. However, the 2007 team was not well coached, right? And this is the perfect example of bad coaching. Okay. The sign of a good team is a team that gets better as the season went on. And the 2007 team actually did the opposite. They progressively got worse as the season moved on. Now, they were still really good. And if they didn't have the experienced players that they had, they wouldn't have won the national championship. So it was honestly the resolve of the Glenn Dorseys, the Matt Flynn's, the Jake Hesters. That team had a lot of will, a lot of fight. I can make a strong case the 2007 offensive line is the best to ever play at LSU. I just think, though, they were not a dominant football team. The 2011 team was a dominant football team. They dominated everyone they played, not named Alabama. The 2007 team was the opposite. They really didn't dominate a whole lot. So, I'll save that for some other time, but we'll focus more on the current team. But, yeah, that's a tough one. I'm still sticking Jamar and Jefferson. Let's see. Got some Sam Montgomery talk. Yeah, the 03 team was just legendary. And that's the right order right there. 2011, 03, 07. Let me see. That was your first LSU game, Cody? Gave me a nice super chat earlier. I appreciate your support. But anyway, we'll get back on to the current team. Okay. So I do want to bring this up. Okay. Who do you think? All right. Who do you think will lead LSU in sacks next season? Give me your answer down below. Who will lead LSU in sacks next year? Mason Smith. That's bold. Defensive tackle leading the team in sacks. Thomas goes with BJ. KJ goes with BJ. Joseph goes with Ali Gay. Ali Gay. Ali Gay. Yeah, I like Ali Gay here. But it could be BJ Ojolari. It could be Andre Anthony. Bug Strong, a blitzing backer. So this actually is an interesting comment right here from Cody. So you look, LSU hasn't really had many sack masters. Okay, so you look you look at the 2019 team. Caleb Chason led the team in sacks, I believe, with 6.5. But that wasn't really his game, right? His game was a little bit more, run and chase. I'm going to be an elite athlete and chase people down. He wasn't so much a defensive end as he was just an edge player per se. So, yes, he pass rushed a lot, but he had 6.5 sacks, right? Then the year before, if I'm not mistaken, Grant Delpit actually led LSU in sacks. So what's going to be interesting next year is not who actually gets the sacks. What's going to be different is now LSU is in a position where they're changing how they get their sacks. So Dave Aranda made a philosophical decision at the end of the 2019 year, and it worked. He changed his defense to being a blitzing front. So on 3rd and long, he would run a lot of very exotic packages, and he would sub a lot of guys in and out. Whereas earlier in the year, he would just bring in 4 pass rushers to get after it. Well, now LSU is strictly going, we're going to have 4 guys, and we trust them to get home. We'll see. We'll see if they can get home next season. I do think, after our BJ Ojolari film study on Friday, I do think it's going to be harder for LSU to get sacks because they are going to play a more mobile group of quarterbacks this season. So last year, LSU just played pocket quarterbacks. This year, it is almost exclusively dual threat quarterbacks. So that is going to be a drastic change that LSU is going to have to be ready for. So expect more twists, expect more stunts. One thing I think LSU is going to do more of is they're going to bring, and, Mississippi State did a good job of this against us. Florida also to a certain extent. They're going to bring a lot of delayed blitzes. I do think Durante Jones is going to do more of that. So layered blitzes where the linebacker, does green dog blitzing. I think you'll see some of that next year. But we'll see. We'll see it. Let's see. I like King Ulysses is always outside the box. He's going to go with Andre Anthony. Daniel also goes with Andre Anthony. Ojolari's the best pass rusher. Micah just comes in random. Micah, I'll answer that question if you super chatted. Normally with these random questions, I'll answer if it's a super chat. He was in the XFL last. Malachi Dupree. Tyler said Mason had 3 sacks, by the way. I like that. I'm glad Mason Smith is starting to get that confidence. No one is showing love to Jaquelin Roy, who was LSU's best pass rushing DT last year. This is going to be key. Ali Gay really struggled with contained responsibilities last year. And some of that's not on him. Some of that is just, the run defense. So, we'll see. I think Ali Gay's really good. His run defense, was a little inconsistent. Some of that was scheme, though. Christian says he feels like it's going to be a backer. All right, go Tigers. We'll see you, my guy. I hope you're right about this, Creek. I really do. It's kind of hard to not love Ed Orgeron, right? I'll tell you this, okay? One very interesting story, and I know we're talking about pass rushers, but let's just say Major Burns turns out to be really good, okay? And is he going to be Grant Delpit good? Probably not, but let's just say he's just really good, right? And that would be one of the luckiest things in LSU personnel history, right? So Major Burns is a very interesting player, okay? And it's kind of hard to not root for that guy. And personally, out of anyone that I'm rooting for the most, it's possibly him, low-key, because he must really love LSU to come back after what allegedly happened, in the recruiting class when he was coming in. So, yeah, I really am hoping for the best for Major Burns. Yeah, so here's the interesting thing. We're doing a fantasy draft here in just a second. So at around 9:10, I'm going to share a link, and we have a few slots remaining in a 12-team fantasy draft that we're doing tonight, okay? And the really cool thing about the fantasy draft is you guys can be a part of it, all right? So you got to go to underdogfantasy.com, type in the promo code Carter, and you're helping out the channel. And the cool thing is you guys are going to get to pick for me, okay? So everyone that's in the chat, I'm going to pick who you tell me to pick, unless, of course, it's something crazy. I'm not going to draft Tim Tebow. But still, you guys are going to get to see my screen on the fantasy draft tonight. So, but here's the thing. The picks go quick, so I'm really going to need your help tonight, guys. So there you go. So Major Burns' his story is very interesting. He was supposed to be a part of the 2020 class. For some reason, it didn't work out. he decided to go to Georgia, and he was committed to LSU all the way up until the very end. So he decommitted, went to Georgia, and now he's back at LSU, and he transferred back. So obviously, whatever happened, that's in the past. But where LSU got really lucky was LSU was actually going to use their final slot on a different player, a guy by the name of Kendall Daniels. And Kendall Daniels decided to go to Oklahoma State, and that slot ended up going to Major Burns. So in other words, we are really lucky to have him on the roster. So we'll see. Coach O's got a connection to LSU for sure. No doubt about it. This will not turn into a Malachi Dupree. Yeah. Big Al, part of the Jaquelin Roy fan club. I love it. Mick said Matthew Langlois will lead the team in sacks. There you go. New Roads, Louisiana, stand up. There we go. You knew he was coming. You knew it. You knew it. One of the cabinet members of PHL. Marcus always coming in clutch, making sure the lights are on here. I appreciate it. Marcus is in the fantasy draft tonight, guys. So if you want to draft, come on in. Leonard, are you drafting tonight? Leonard, you've been quiet tonight, man. Shout out Marcus. Freaking love it. Marcus for PHL. It is interesting, Pegasus. We have not talked a whole lot about Joseph Evans. Let's hope so. I think they're going to hope Joseph Evans could play that A-gap defensive tackle role. And that Michael Brockers role. So, yeah. Let's see. Joseph, yeah. Marcus is always coming in, dropping a 50 spot. But also, as many of you know, Marcus also one of my BFFs on the channel. Let's see. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Did y'all see this? Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Actually, I'm not gonna say what happened to him. Let's see. Jaquelin Roy will start. I love it. Neil Farrell does look in shape. No, Clyde's a little banged up. He should be ready. He honestly should be ready. It shouldn't be anything too serious. Let's go, Black Goatee. So, yeah. So, by the way, Black Goatee, you're going to have to send us a bunch of photos at the game. So, for those that don't know, Black Goatee and his lovely other half right here, they have not only these custom black LSU jerseys, they say BURREAUX on the back of them. Custom Joe Burrow, all black uniforms. That's so daggum cool. Okay, and they're actually going to the UCLA game. A lot of you are actually going. So, I'm interested in knowing their playmakers. They do return most of their wide receivers. I don't know any of their names just off the top of my head. I do know that they have a pretty solid backfield. They do have some really solid runners. Zach Charbonnet is coming over from Michigan. He's a solid running back. And, of course, they have DTR, quarterback, who's been in and out of practice. This is a key thing to keep in mind, though, Black Goatee, is UCLA has a very experienced offensive line. And the difference here, and Marcus, we actually, if you guys remember that live stream in Alabama, we touched on this. And Marcus actually super chatted this as well. He always has some of the best questions. UCLA does have an offensive line that can move some bodies. They're good. They're pretty deep. They're a little banged up, but they do return a lot. They're very similar to LSU. They return a lot of really good players. They don't return a lot of excellent players, so it's not a situation where, an elite player's returning, like Devin White going from his sophomore to junior season, where you knew he was just great. UCLA doesn't have a lot of those kind of guys, but they do return a lot of just good players. So, LSU, of course, is better athletically, but UCLA is just not going to run over. Their experience. I got some adults over there. And this is going to be key. You got your student section tickets, Captain Kenneth. Those are really competitive. I remember I barely got my student section tickets. I remember my mom actually got them for me because my Wi-Fi went out. Gosh, she saved me that year. So, I'm okay. My mama, she stepped up for me. Davin's got a lot of good word from Ed. It does seem Joseph Evans is loved by Ed Orgeron, right? And he has brought him up a lot. He had a good spring game. He did a lot of the little things right in that spring game. Really good at generating pass rush from his pass rushing lane, which is going to be key, especially if you do play more mobile quarterbacks next season. So we'll see. Yeah, make sure you drive safe, Marcus. A lot of you do drive and chat. Just make sure you get home safe. But yeah, Cliff, the president of PHL, UCLA basically returns their entire team. True that. Experience does matter. UCLA will be at home. And I'm not going to lie, LSU's fans might outnumber UCLA's fans. So be ready for that. Let's see here. This is key. Thomas getting technical. I love it. Gap responsibility is going to be important. So UCLA does have a lot of good counters. One thing LSU's defensive line struggled with last season was pulling guards. They didn't know how to play it. They would play it very inconsistently. They also, since Thomas brings up a very technical question, I'm jittering. I'm just fired up, baby. I'm just fired up. Rain. How can you? I mean, I'm with 78 of the best LSU fans on the freaking planet. How can you not be excited from where I'm sitting? I don't care if I'm jittering, baby. Feeling good. Let's go. But anyway, UCLA's offensive linemen do a good job of pulling based on the limited film study that I've seen. So we'll see. They're going to really attack LSU's defensive line with pulling guards. Okay, so what's the key going to be? Well, like Thomas says right here, gap responsibility. Got to contain all that power, Marcus. You got to love it, baby. Bruce, what's good, man? What's up, Kobe? Kobe, you got the full team in your photo. I love it. Let me bring up Cody's thing again. Look at, you got the whole squad right there. I love it. 2 weeks is going to seem like 2 years. Yeah, especially considering we're going to have to watch UCLA play for a week first. It's going to be kind of weird. LSU 4-3-2-1. I love it. I know. That's a good comment right there, guys. Yeah, KJ, I'm not going to lie. This kind of concerns me a little bit, though, KJ. that Eli Ricks is going to want to pick six in California so bad that they're going to try and hit him on a double move. Because Eli Ricks, who, by the way, is the #1 player according to PHL, our super deep top 5 list from earlier this week. You already know UCLA is going to try and hit him on a double move. They're going to try it. They're going to try it. You know it. Let's see here. I love it. Freaking love it. This would be the most epic celebration, though. And I like the celebrations. I do. Imagine the celebration he's going to do if it happens. It's going to be pretty filthy. I'm not going to lie. You just got to be ready for a flag. If he does a pick six in his home state, I mean, he's probably going to do a Joe Horn. He's probably going to put a phone under the goalpost. By the way, I've never really looked this up. How did Joe Horn actually get a phone under the goalpost and nobody saw? You couldn't pull that stunt off now. Backflip in the end zone. It's going to be something epic. I think it'd be something even more epic than that. It's going to be wild. But here's the thing. A pick six is such a game-changing play that the 15-yard penalty does not come close to how much of a game-changing play a pick six is. So I'll take that. It was epic. Good question here from Pegasus. Who are the top 5 receivers in the SEC besides Butte and Mechie? So before he got hurt, I would probably have George Pickens at #1, but he did get hurt from Georgia. But #2, I think Treylon Burks is the best at Arkansas. He's really good. He actually balled out on us in 2019 as well. Burks is probably the best. Kayshawn probably has a little bit of a higher ceiling just because of his speed. He's faster than Burks. But yeah, I would say Burks, and then Jermaine Burton's also pretty good. Anaya Smith, the Texas A&M's good. But I would say Treylon Burks is #1. And then Kayshawn, I'd put #2 or #3. So we'll see. But Treylon Burks is a monster. Kind of, he's got some Jamar to him. Not as good of an athlete, but he's just good. I don't know any other way to describe it. He's just really good. Good route runner, good in the red zone, acrobatic, deep, intermediate. He's just really good. I think a good comparison would be Jarvis. He's got some Jarvis guy to him. Copeland's okay. He's not elite, though. Desmond Demas, I don't know what happened to him. The 5-star? Yeah, I don't really know. But I'm about to trigger a lot of people. What about JoJo Earl? What about JoJo Earl? Kidding. I'm just bringing it up. One time. All my viewers are about to go right before this big fantasy draft. I didn't know JoJo is going to be the best true freshman wide receiver. I haven't been keeping up with the Alabama camp. Some people tell me Ajayi Hall is like, could be the next Julio Jones. I just wanted to see you guys melt just for a second. Settle down. We got BT. And look, like Matthew super chatted earlier, and I got to shout out Roger. He laid off another super chat here. We'll get to Roger's question. If Malik Neighbors is a baller, the JoJo Earl thing is not a big loss. Anyway, with having film on UCLA or having a week under your belt, what is a bigger advantage? So, I'm going to open up this question to you guys, okay? So, all right. Okay, so this is a question that Roger, lovely as always, the Venmos and Cash Apps are, I get the money immediately. They're so generous. Thank you guys so much. So Roger, this is Roger's question. Who has the advantage? UCLA getting a game under their belt or LSU for not having shown their hand per se, right? Thomas says UCLA. Marcus says practice is a better advantage. Bruce believes UCLA has the advantage. You know what, Black OT, this isn't really a bad comment. I think JoJo will play some running back. I do. LSU. This is very interesting, Matthew. I don't know if Coach Smith is still in here, but a lot of coaches tell me this as well. Playing a week before is an advantage. The biggest improvement is usually between week 1 and week 2. I've actually heard this before from actual coaches. I don't have any stats or analytics to back that up, but it is very interesting, Matthew. And there we go. The president agrees with you. Cliff. Wait, what did you say, Marcus? What was your answer? Let me see. Lack of seeing opponent would matter more if the scheme was unknown. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. SEC Country, my former employer, got it on YouTube channel. I think we need the extra week to prepare rather than playing an extra game and prepping for a lower team. Very interesting. I thought a lot of you would say LSU. Yeah, it's a scheme. So Roger, the super chatter, here's what he says, but nobody knows what LSU is going to look like this year. Here's what's interesting, Joseph. I don't know anything about Hawaii's team, but they were good last year. I wouldn't sleep on the Rainbow Warriors coming in and getting the upset, right? Here's KJ. Especially with our new coordinators, I have no idea what we're going to do. But here would be my response to that. And KJ, you've had a lot of good comments tonight. I appreciate you, man. This is very key as well. When you say that, we also the coordinators still themselves have not communicated plays in a game, right? So here's the thing, and I don't do a good enough job on my film studies. And I say it on my film studies, but I should make it a point here on these live streams. When I do film study breakdowns, you hear me say this all the time, but I need to do a better job of emphasizing how different it is in an actual game, right? Because you really only have 20 to 40 seconds to make these decisions, right? So this is what concerns me. This is going to be LSU's, their coordinators, their first time to ever call plays in the heat of the moment. What's up, Amber Cat? Good to have you. So, with the new coordinators, maybe it is better for them to have a game in hand and to be ready to go. Marcus might have a point here. I think this first game will be the most predictable play calling this season. You know, something else that could be very interesting. I wonder if Jake Peetz is going to slow the pace down. right? LSU is a little thin on the offensive line. They have had a lot of injuries. Maybe Jake Peets does slow some things down. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Maybe LSU does slow some things down because, they do have a new offensive play calling, level of communication. This should be Miami 2.0. I think the difference, though, with that, Rain, is Miami was so bad at quarterback that game. He was so bad. And that was, peak Aranda. He called such a great game. He really did. So, yeah. All right. Let me know. Actually, this is very important. Love watching your show on our big screen. Tonight's comments on our screen are very blurry. Just checking to see if anyone else is having this problem. Thanks, and go Tigers. Guys, let me know. This is very key because I am using a new streaming technology. This is the first time I've used a third-party app. Normally, I go straight into YouTube. So this is very key because I would say probably 75 to 80% of you watch every live stream. So let me know if you guys are seeing it. Rain says crystal clear. Don't forget about DJ Mangus. No issue for me. Joseph says clear on his phone. Looking sharp on mobile. I like that. Appreciate you, Marcus. Yeah, Charles, maybe plug and unplug. But, it is probably new. So, are you streaming on the TV as well? Thank you. I appreciate that. I like hearing that. It's blurry for me, little dude. So what I'll do is I'll go back and rewatch it, and I'll see some of it. Noel says it's crystal clear. I like that. So yeah, I'll go back and rewatch it, and I'll see if there's anything different there. And also, this is key as well. Are you watching in the highest quality? There's different quality settings that go along with YouTube as well. So that's also very key to keep in mind. Something I don't like about this new thing, though, is that you don't get to see the booger band. By the way, you want one. You want a booger band. Noel joined the booger fan, the booger band. And this is key right here as well, Marcus. You want to join the Booger Band fan club. I got to get some more in. I got a few more to sell. Paris just got hers we sent Paris's out. Noel joined the Booger fan club tonight. Okay. 1 for 10, 2 for 15, 3 for 20. You want to join. Haley gets disappointed when we don't sell a bunch of Booger bands because this is actually something that she suggested. And Booger means more to her than anyone else on the planet. And if you're new to the channel, Bug the dog, who tragically passed away, our very beloved Booger. So you want to join the Booger fan club. Okay? He sent you a pic via email. I like that. So let's see here. Oh, Kyle, we upgraded. I like that. There you go. I want to go back to the Major Burns thing, right? It may not matter who is actually playing safety next year. The bigger difference, well, it does matter who's actually playing. The bigger difference, though, could be how LSU uses their safety. So a few weeks ago on Pass Defense Week, we showed you how Bo Pelini kept doing this same thing over and over with the safeties. On 2nd and long, he would run the safety into the box for no reason at all, okay? So if Durante Jones comes in with the simple mindset that I have a really good defensive line, I'm going to play my safeties very conservatively. We have 2 great corners. Let's see if they can beat us over the top. And here's the thing, okay? we want teams to run the ball. Most teams on LSU's schedule this year are going to be so much more effective passing the ball than running the ball. Okay? So LSU does have Kentucky on the schedule. They are a run-based offense. Alabama is always going to have a good run-based offense. But outside of those two schools and Texas A&M, every other school on LSU's schedule is a passing offense. So what do we want to do? Well, if Devonta Jones goes into each and every game with the mindset that we want them to run the ball, guess what? He's going to play his safeties more conservatively. Last year, LSU was not only somewhat slow at safety, they also didn't position them that well. And it drove me nuts, right? Especially when I went back and really rewatched those games. So it's so key. It's so key for LSU to play better with their safeties next year. Okay. Marcus, you did super chat, so we'll go to your question here by James Craig. James Craig suing LSU. It was going to happen. Okay. Of course, LSU was trying to fire this guy because he wasn't that great. But they were also trying to fire him because they were trying to avoid paying the buyout. Okay? It's very simple. James Craig, I'm trying to find the best way to describe this. He's sour. Okay? He's sour. And he's rightfully sour. Okay? The bottom line, though, is does LSU really want to draw this out? Okay. Now, I was told this by someone within LSU's doors. Okay. I don't reach out for much inside information, but I was talking to someone that I know that works in LSU athletics. This was a year or two ago, and they said, you know what, Carter, one thing that drove me nuts was the John Chavis thing. For those that don't remember, John Chavis drew out the firing, and it got ugly. It got lawyers were involved, and Chavis left. What did we owe him? Did he owe us? And obviously, that's a different situation than James Craig. John Chavis went to Texas A&M, had a falling out with Les Miles, whatever. Okay. I can understand LSU not wanting to have to pay the James Craig thing. They've actually spent more money on coaches and more money on new recruiting staffers. So I understand them trying to save a few bucks here. But you also have to understand that if you were trying to fire him for cause, that he was going to fire back. So it is what it is. Okay. And I don't want to get too deep into it because it's not, it is worth discussing, and it is newsworthy, and it is interesting. But I hope this doesn't distract LSU from fixing the current offensive line. Craig was not a Les guy. Craig was an O guy. This is very true. Yeah, Grant Delpit was really good at football. You know, there's just no other way around it. He was so freaking good. Grant was so freaking good. I mean, goodness gracious. And look, I'm not gonna lie. You want to talk about one of the all-time greats? Grant Delpit's in that discussion. Okay. Was there some aggression his last year? Not really. There was some, but he was playing a new role. He was also playing very injured. He also started and basically played every snap his freshman and sophomore year, so an injury was bound to happen. He's still one of the best of all time. He's still one of the best of all time. Yeah, they didn't use him right. Jacoby is not a deep safety. The teams picked on that so bad, and I hated it because Jacoby just that was just a mess. That was just a mess. LSU had a linebacker and Jabril Cox who didn't love to tackle and play in the box, and they had a safety who didn't love to cover but loved to play in the box. It was just a mess. So yeah. Joe, part of that could be that, Jacoby Delpit is such a thin safety. You don't think of him as like this physical player, but God, he was so great. Craig was a buster. If Edo, I would call my friend up and let's see. Arvis, what's good, man? Good to hear from you. One of the many super dads of PHL. I agree with this too. Let's see here. Let's see here. At some point, we've got to talk about Max. On this live stream, yes, but in general, we have done 7 Max Johnson film studies. But his arm is lacking, but some of it just based on my film analysis. A lot of the outbreaking routes weren't because he didn't have the arm to make the throw. It was more because he didn't have the confidence to make the throw. It's a big difference. But if he is more confident, he's going to be just fine. He really is. Okay. I agree. Marcus and I don't agree on a whole lot, but we do agree on this. If it's good enough, if he steps into the throw, that was such a good game from Grant. It was Grant was just so good. Grant was so good. Let's see here. I think y'all are on the same page here. Craig really was not good last year. And some of that, once again, it comes down to this, right? Do you, as an offensive line evaluator, do you blame James Craig for everything that went wrong with LSU, right? It's kind of hard, right? Because here's the thing, and you guys know how I feel about this, right? The fact that LSU never benched Chase and Hines will always sit with me. It never made any sense to me. And I hope Chase and Hines is Alan Faneca good next year. But he was struggling so much that they should have benched him. They should have benched him and gone to somebody else. So, we'll see. Who's going at it? Oh, Cliff and Marcus. They'll be all right. Yeah, Alan. Alan watched the film study. Tony, the Master Blaster. I love it. Tony, your avatar is so much better, especially now that we got the technology to zoom in. Look at you at a tailgate. You got the glasses. You got the hat. Is that a fitted hat or do we have some straps on there? Is it a Velcro hat or do you have the little tessellation? All righty. So we're getting ready to fantasy draft here in a second. So I know a lot of you have signed up using Underdog Fantasy. Obviously, if you're inside the state of Louisiana, you cannot play on Underdog Fantasy. I know they're working on changing that. Oh, it's a fitted hat. I love it. But if you're outside the state of Louisiana, guess what? Tonight, you can draft with us. Now, here's the fun thing. If you are not drafting, you get to make my picks for me tonight right here on Underdog Fantasy. Okay? So here's a link where there are 2 slots remaining for our draft tonight. Okay? Boom. So the first 2 people that click that link right there and sign up with Underdog Fantasy, once again, the promo code Carter the Power has to be in there, or the promo code Carter has to be in there for you to get a $25 bonus. So the final 2 slots are up for grabs. Okay? Matthew's in there. Tony, you're outside of the state of Louisiana. You can sign up for this. Marcus already reserved a slot earlier. King Ulysses. So the final 2 slots. We're looking to get this filled in. And here's the cool thing. Okay? Going to get this fired up right here. Okay? Okay. All right. So here's what's really cool. You guys are getting to see the draft. Okay? We need one more person to sign up. Okay? When that person signs up, it's going to start. All right? Once again, you're really supporting PHL. And you guys are going to get to pick for me. Okay? Who is drafting for me tonight? Good night, Amacat. Amacat's like, okay, I'm not into fantasy. So there we go. You guys get to see the full screen right here. I'm going ahead and hide Tony's comment. All right. One final slot. Who is going to take the final slot right here? Marcus, do not piss me off like you did in the last draft. Marcus got the split screen going. No, that could be you. Nolan, New York. That could be your slot. You already signed up. One more slot. And then we are going to get underway. Oh, no, you took that slot? I love it. Who is taking the final slot for Underdog Fantasy? If you're outside the state of Louisiana. Four glasses of whiskey. That means he's drafting Tim Tebow, number 1 overall. I love it. So while we wait, I got to get ready for bed. Creek, we'll see you Tuesday night, man. All right, we're locked in. Okay, what pick am I? All right. Let's see. Okay, who's got the number 1 pick? The Master Blaster gets the number 1 overall pick. Oh my goodness. You guys see, I'm the 12-13. I am the 12-13 turn. Are you kidding me? So here's the cool thing about an underdog. The picks are only 30 seconds. Okay? Tuesday night, you know it. Rogers in, Potter's in. Who is Odison? I think that's Roger. No, that's not Roger. Odinson is in there. Roger's redeeming himself. Okay, Master Blaster, you got the first pick, man. Who you going with, Master Blaster? By the way, if you didn't get in this draft, the best thing to do is go to underdogfantasy.com, sign up using my promo code Carter, okay? The Master Blaster went with Patrick Mahomes, number 1 overall. Master Blaster. I love it. Patrick Mahomes at the 1.1. Potter got Christian McCaffrey in the 3rd overall pick. I love it. I freaking love it. I freaking love it. That is so freaking great. No, Matthew. Matthew, here's the thing. This is my draft. You do not get help. Only I get help. That's a good pick right there from Darky, my guy Darky Arky. I love it. Steven is in the draft. Shout out to Steven. He's actually one of my old time radio listeners. He got Devontae Adams. It's not a bad pick right there. All right, guys. I am at the number 12 pick. Who am I selecting at the number 12 pick? Somebody help me. Okay? What are you guys thinking? Cliff, you better help me. You're my cousin. You're not even helping me. So as you guys see, Underdog, it's very simple. And by the way, we were playing Best Ball Fantasy. So the great thing about Best Ball Fantasy on Underdog Fantasy is all you do is draft. That's it. And all Underdog does is it takes your best scores. And with those best scores, guess what? You don't have to worry about a thing, baby. With Underdog Fantasy, they automatically set your lineup. Big shot KC. He's not even an LSU fan. He drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Oh, this is just filthy. Are we really doing this here? Are you guys really going to let me get Tyreek Hill in this spot? What? This is taking candy from a baby, baby. Are you kidding me? And Aaron Jones? And Aaron Jones? What? And Aaron Jones? Oh, guys, that was too easy. That was too easy. Tank Freight Gore? That was easy. How easy was that? Oh, my God. So we got to wait 20 picks. All right, guys. Thomas, help me out. Help me out. Who should I draft next? Who should we be targeting? This is so cool. I've always wanted to do an Underdog fantasy draft, and I'm so happy that Underdog is partnering with PHL. And here's the thing. You support whenever you go sign up. Now, here's what's really cool. Everyone that signed up tonight, this is only a $3 league. And whenever you signed up, it depends how much you deposited. But when you deposit at least $10, they automatically give you $25 extra whenever you sign up. Are you freaking kidding me? With Underdog Fantasy, you really can't beat it. You really can't freaking beat it. Dang. Who let Stephon Diggs fall all the way to right there? Who did that? Where are we at? Steven got DeAndre Hopkins. Thomas, where are we going next? Thomas, you're supposed to be supporting me, not anyone else. Don't tell anyone else good picks. All right. Dang. Noel's kind of a sharp, getting Calvin Ridley after DeAndre Hopkins. I love freaking D-Hop, but I think Calvin Ridley's going to ball out this year. Even though he's a Bammer. I do have a photo with Calvin Ridley. A few years ago, I interviewed him, and he's got like the most iced out watch you'll ever see. J.K. Dobbins, okay. A.J. Brown's not bad. Najee, okay. I don't think the guy that I want's going to last will pick number 10. I hope so. Thomas, what are you thinking? Marcus, it is hard. There are some good drafters in here. Roger gets Justin Jefferson. I hate you, Roger. That's who I wanted. But why did I think Justin Jefferson in a fantasy, an LSU NFL fantasy league? Why did I think Justin Jefferson was going to fall to me? Like, what kind of human being do I think that I am that Justin Jefferson was going to fall to me? Oh my God. Aaron Rodgers? No, I just gave you some sharp. I called you a sharp a minute ago, Nolan. You decided to go with Aaron Rodgers? Are you freaking kidding me, Noel? That is the reach of the century. That is the reach of the century. Noel, are you freaking kidding me? Oh, who took CD Lamb? Who freaking took CD Lamb? Steven's team is a fire team right now. So here's what's really cool. All right, so I'm only showing you this right here. This is something I like a lot about Underdog, okay? So actually I got to hide that. Let me see if I can show you the board. So this is what's cool about Underdog. You can pull up this board like this, and you see how much easier it is to see all the picks. So I like doing this to strategize my drafts, and not a lot of drafts do this. So I could see the full shebang right there. Okay. All right. Okay. So who are we going with here, Thomas? I like Allen Robinson a lot. I like Allen Robinson. All right, Thomas, who's our next pick? Let's see. I'm going ahead and do this. I'm not fully in love with this pick. I think it is a little bit of a reach. See what my bye weeks are. Oh, did it draft for me automatically? Oh, I actually wasn't going to draft that. I waited too long. I did not mean to do that. Okay. I was actually going to draft I'm not going to say who I was going to draft. I did not want that pick. I'm pissed off. You see, this is the thing. Only one QB starts. So here's the thing. If you wait too long, it'll automatically pick someone. I don't mind Terry McLaurin, to be honest, but I actually wanted somebody else and a little bit better of an offense. But to each their own. That's who I actually wanted, and Dane got him. Okay. So here's what's cool. You can pull up these different positions like that. So now I could go to my board here. I waited too long to get who I wanted. Right? How about you only play one quarterback? I don't know why you're drafting Lamar Jackson. So you don't want to draft 2 QBs that early, but you do you. Oh, man. That's funny. Yeah. I really like DeAndre Swift this year. Darky Arky's a diehard Arkansas fan. He's getting Hunter Henry this early. I like it. All right, guys. I'm not getting much help in the chat here, so I'm just going to have to go on my own. So I do want to show you this. All right. So for those that I'll put it back on the thing. So as you can see, this mobile app, I actually like drafting on my mobile app a lot more. I'm only doing it on desktop, so you can see it. Here's what's really cool about mobile app. It's very easy to use, as you guys can see there. And the cool thing is they have this draft board. And the mobile app draft board is really, really well put together, as you can see. And they have different colors so you can know what to stack and whatnot as far as what you're drafting. So I just wanted to show you that really quickly. Underdog. I'm going to put it back on full screen. So we are 9 picks away. Okay. Potter putting together a decent team. He's got Chris Carson and Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. It's like a league winner right there. Jerry Judy's not a bad pick. A little bit of a reach? Yes. How many of you, for those still watching, did you get Burrow? He throws a lot, plenty of opportunities. Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to draft 2 QBs. Okay, so once again, this is best ball fantasy, as Marcus points out right here. You're trying to hit the high points. Okay, so you want to draft upside. Okay, we are 3 picks away. Okay, did someone get Kyle Pitts? Okay, not really a shocker there. Kareem Hunt quickly taken. Okay, right. Let's see our roster construction so far. Hmm. Hmm. Do we go Miles Sanders here? Let's go Ayuk. Okay. I'll do it. I'm not in love with this pick. Not in love with it. I don't have much Brandon Ayuk stock. Are there any Brandon Ayuk fans out there? Here's why I like Brandon Ayuk. Very easy schedule this year for him. Ulysses, really? So what's really cool is you get this. Oh, I don't have a QB yet. And we got some Trey Sermon love in here. I like it. We got some Trey Sermon love. Wait, did you just stack Steven? God, Steven's got a filthy roster. Steven's roster is so freaking filthy right now. Has anyone seen Steven's roster? Are you freaking kidding me? Huh? Steven's roster is nasty. Nasty. For a 12-team league, are you kidding me, Steven? I like it. Some people making some mistakes, and Steven is pouncing on them. When do I draft again? 14 picks away. So I've been doing a lot of 6-team leagues. Something else that's fun about Underdog, you can do these crazy 6-team leagues. I like the Odell Beckham pick. Love it. Let's see. How many Ryan Tannehill fans are there out there? We got any Tannehill stands out there? Dang, Potter, hurry up and pick. Potter getting Joe Burrow. An Arkansas fan drafting Joe Burrow in the chat. That doesn't feel right. Who just drafted Michael Thomas? Are you kidding me? I freaking love it. 6 picks away. Let's see what we got here. Rondale Moore. I like it. Right. Oh, who got Debo? Damn it. I'm not supposed to curse. Anyway. Am I at the 77? I'm going to do it. I missed my pick. Oh, who did I get? At Galladay? I'm in love with that. Oh, well. Anyone else fading Kenny Galladay this year? I'm actually fading Galladay hard. I just wasn't able to get the pick in fast enough because I'm an idiot. Antonio Brown, not a bad pick. Yeah, it's a snake. Let's see. Who should we target? Who is your deep sleeper? Will Fuller is not a bad pick. I think that was a really bad turn for me. Hawkinson, Galladay, that's bad. Galladay's not that good. Taysom Hill. I love it. It's not bad, though. How many more picks? 9. Let's see. Snake style draft. Let's see something really. Yeah. Michael Gallup might not be bad. Master Blaster took my quarterback. Let's see. Terrace Marshall. Love it. Gesicki. Not bad. Beautiful. Y'all messed up. Are you kidding me? I get the best quarterback in fantasy right there. Are you kidding me? Why would y'all do that? Why would y'all do that? I get the best quarterback in fantasy right the freak there. Are you kidding me? It's going to get the handcuff. There. Y'all let me get the best quarterback in fantasy right there. I can't believe it. I can't freaking believe it. Brandon Ayuk and Trey Lance are going to run the freaking league. Every single one of you guys know it, and you don't want to admit it. Johnny, I was waiting for you to come back. I didn't put my screen back up. My bad. Johnny, talking trash. I freaking love it. Can you believe they let Trey Lance, who plays the easiest schedule in fantasy, to fall to me, Johnny? Can you believe that? That's filthy. I can't believe it. I can't freaking believe it. Oh, someone drafted Devonta Smith. That should not be allowed on PHL. There should be no Devonta Smith picks allowed on PHL. I'm sorry. There should be no PHL Devonta Smith picks. Whoever made that pick, oh, that was you, Marcus. You traitor. You traitor, Marcus. Are you kidding me? Marcus. Darky, that wasn't a bad pick. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to do some fun stuff this year. Let's bring in the underdog of fantasy. Right in the middle of the draft.
Come here, Mama.
Look, babe, we're drafting right now.
Good deal.
The underdog of fantasy.
Ow!
She's biting. Hey. Look, you're black just like the dog. Underdog.
No, ma'am.
Where's her yellow scarf?
I don't know. No, ma'am.
Marcus.
No, ma'am. You are really at it tonight.
What? Z looks just like the black dog right there on underdog.
Why are you being so bad tonight?
I don't know why she wouldn't want to wear her yellow scarf.
I talked to your dad.
What was he doing?
Oh, we were just talking medical things.
Medical things.
Uh-huh.
Ugh. We got a good team so far, bro.
Good.
When y'all sign up, you help out with the Z bills.
Oh, are you gonna give Shuggy now, or are you gonna bite?
You can get Shuggy?
You giving Shuggy or biting? Huh? You wanted to come see Daddy?
Who is having fun on Underdog Fantasy? Y'all make Haley happy when y'all sign up for Underdog. Just to let y'all know. All these good receivers.
That's probably your mom. Oh, I was talking to your mom. I was talking to the whole family.
Talk to the whole family.
Come on, let's show you here.
Okay. All right. Okay. God, these quarterbacks get really slim pickings. Let's go. Marquez Callaway was not bad. That is not a bad pick. Let's see here. Roby, you have been like the most positive viewer on the channel. I appreciate you, man. I really do. Roby. All right, Johnny, where are we going next with this? Tua. Dude, picks are going fast now. Freaking love it. AJ Green, the Master Blaster. Let's see here. Marvin Jones is not a bad pick. Let's see what we got here. My bad. I'm going to do this right. Okay. Let's see. Got some Cole Beasley love in here. Rashad Bateman. I like it. On the clock. Let's. Oh, Fitzmagic. Myers. That's a deep cut. This draft's starting to get serious. What's up, Yusha? I love it. Yusha, who are you talking to on the phone here? Matthew. Matthew, your next pick should be Tim Tebow. You know this. Okay, we already know Marcus has a crappy draft going. We already know this. Marcus. Mm-hmm. Okay. Actually, didn't mean to do that. Huh? I'm really banking on an Ezekiel Elliott injury. Okay. Hunter Renfro. I love it. Okay, we do need another tight end. Blake Jarwin went. Okay. Looks like we're going with Donald Parham. Okay. Mm. All right. So there we go. I'm done. All right, Matthew. We'll see you, man. Lazio. The pride of Lucas Leiva. Did he even play tonight? Oh, you got sniped a bunch, Marcus? Just tell me, Marcus. Dev, what's good, man? I'm sorry you just joined in on the fantasy draft here at the end. Dev, you were the inspiration behind the BJ Ojolari film study. What do you have to say about that? Carson Wentz out for the year? Is he? Let me see. I knew I should have gone with Darnold. I just can't talk myself into drafting Sam Darnold. All right. So let's see. Okay. Let's go through everybody's draft. So what did y'all think of Underdog? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Okay, so here's something really cool about Underdog Fantasy is after the draft is over, you can actually, let me see if I can pull it up here. Okay. You full draft. So this is really cool. You can go, actually, I don't want to see that. I want to go back to here. Okay. See, there's a way you can go. Actually, here's what you have to do. You got to come down here, Power Hour LSU 12 team. And there's a way you can see the projected points. Let's see. Our running backs are so bad, as you can see here. Master Blaster. See the Master Blasters team. Okay. So if you go here, it's a little bit easier to see on mobile, but you can see the projected points. Okay. So it was different. It pops up first when draft, but if you draft on desktop, but as you see here, here's a Master Blaster. He decided to go Gronk. Okay. Tony's team. Rodgers team. Josh Allen, Taysom Hill, and Zach Wilson. Got a bad group of running backs here. Yeah, you were the one that got Jets. That pissed me off. Adam Troutman. Not a bad tight end. You did reach for him, though. That's a huge ADP difference. So go to Potter's team, Joe Burrow, Ryan Tannehill. Dang, Potter loaded up on running backs. So only 2 running backs score and 3 wide receivers score. So, you go to this full info here. Okay. So 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs, but one of those running backs can be a flex. So even then, Potter got some pretty good wide receivers here. Okay. Marcus, if you can, actually, I could pull it up here. So on mobile, whenever you're done with the draft, it'll tell you who has the highest projected points. And let me see here. Oh, did you look at here? I have the second highest projected points. Potter actually has the second highest amount of points. It took you a few rounds at how to queue. Yeah, Troutman's going to be good. Okay. So Potter had a really good team, but if I'll show you this really quickly. It is a little bit easier on mobile to see all of them. So you can go here, and after the draft is over, they could show you all the projected points. Now, remember, this is best ball fantasy. So this is all you do. There's no starting. There's no benching. All you do is draft, and Underdog takes your best points and automatically sets them out there, okay? So projected to finish first in the league is Potter. I am projected to finish second. And Carolina, or excuse me, Tobo Tiger. Matthew said he didn't know what he was doing. He has the third place team based on projections. Okay. King Ulysses. Okay. Let's pull up King Ulysses roster right here. Okay. So I like this drop down menu here. King Ulysses, Russell Wilson, Ben Roethlisberger, and Jameis Winston. Decided to only go with 3 backs. That's actually you got 3 really good backs. And then you notice King Ulysses is actually a good drafting strategy. You notice he stacked his quarterbacks and wide receivers. So he has Tyler Lockett, Juju, Brandon Cooks, Michael Pittman, Marquez Callaway with the Jameis Winston stack. And he decided to go 4 tight ends, which is not really bad strategy if you have 4 bad tight ends. So I actually really like this draft, even though Underdog doesn't love it all that much. We go to Big Shot KC, who decided to go with 4 quarterbacks, which is bold. Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts, and Jimmy Garoppolo. He did get Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which was someone that I really wanted. Kareem Hunt, Kenyon Drake. He only got 4 wide receivers. This is a very interesting strategy since 3 of them are going to have to count, and he got 5 tight ends. Okay. Let's see here. Let me send this to. I'm not showing you this. I'm not showing you the screen. My bad. Here you go. This was really fun. Okay, so for those that drafted, while I'm trying to get a few of the other drafters in here. For those that drafted, did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Let's see. Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? King Ulysses, I actually did like your draft a lot. I don't know why under fading. Let's go to Odinson. This was the only pick I didn't like from Odinson. I liked this draft overall. I thought Aaron Rodgers was a bit of a reach. So the way you could tell it was a reach, you notice he took him at pick 29 when his ADP was 84.2. I did like his running backs, even though, I didn't like his backup running back all that much. His wide receivers are actually pretty good here. Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper. Okay, so here's the problem with Odinson, okay? You notice this right here? His first 3 wide receivers, Bama, Bama, Bama. That will get you excluded from the next Power Hour LSU. Like, who thinks Odinson should be banned from PHL for that? 3 Bammers. 3. 3 Bammers. Let's see here. Tiger. I really liked his draft. He said he didn't know what he was doing. He's got the 3rd highest projected points in this league. Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Kirk Cousins. He got, honestly, 3 of the best backs you can get in fantasy. And you notice he got them at good ADPs. So he got Alvin Kamara at pick 8, and he's been going pick number 3. Or is that right? Pick number 9. So no, that's about right. No, there's no way Alvin Kamara's pick number 9. But anyway. Let's see here. Johnny is actually a fantasy sharp, and he's just laughing. He can't play because he is in Louisiana. Big Shot KC, we already broke down his team. Marcus, let's go to your crappy team. Dude, you went heavy on running backs. Dear Lord, Marcus. Nick Darrell Henderson, Trey Sermon, Miles Gaskin. This actually was not a bad team. I'm not. Marcus, do you really believe in Daniel Jones? Wild. But I was wondering where all the running backs went. They're all on Marcus's team, just hanging out. Stephon Diggs, I do like Corey Davis a lot, and you got him at a really good ADP. So interesting. Darren Waller. That's a good pick right there. Oh, 22.5 in the 5th round. Is that what it means? Yeah, in the 5th round. Oh, I'm confused behind this ADP stuff. I don't understand. I don't understand ABC. That's at ABC. Big Shot KC. And let's go to Rogers' team. So there you go. So I appreciate everyone drafting. I don't mind hanging out for a little bit longer. Johnny. Johnny. Huh? Who? It's an average, so 3.9. So does that mean he averages? Oh, 6. I kept thinking that had something to do with the round. Okay, so the ADP is so he averages the 50th.7th pick. Okay, I get it now. I get it. All right. So yeah, the steal of the draft is right here. The fact that Towboat Tiger, our guy Matthew, who said he didn't know what he was doing, was able to get Alvin Kamara. Right here is a steal. Kyler Murray could be the best QB in fantasy this year. He also got a bunch of LSU guys. I actually like Towboat Tiger, and he got my guy Elijah Moore. The only thing I don't like, he's got bad tight ends. These are not good tight ends. But a Jimmy Graham resurgence. How about that? Everyone welcome Ben to PHL. I love it. But yeah, did y'all like it for those that drafted? Isn't that crazy, Johnny? He was able to get Alvin Kamara that late. That freaking late. Ben is also a truck driver. So we had not one, but 2 truck drivers. And we also had a boater. Towboater is a boat. That's so wild. I like Underdog a lot. You did not have a bad team, Tony. You just drafted Patrick Mahomes number 1 overall. You just can't. And Patrick Mahomes is good. It's just that's early. That is very early to draft Patrick Mahomes. We appreciate you, Ben. Even though Ben's not an LSU guy, we love the truck drivers on PHL. Tony's also a retired driver. Marcus, I'm looking at your split screen right now. That's so cool you can do that. Oh, you retired military. My bad, Tony. Tony, what did you not like about your draft? What did you not like about your draft, Tony? Was it drafting Patrick Mahomes? I'll pull up your draft again. We can't have a PHL draft without the Master Blaster. I'm not gonna lie, Tony, you did steal my quarterback. I actually was gonna draft Justin Fields. I am buying the hype, so haters beware. This was actually your biggest mistake, Tony, was drafting tight ends from the same team. Because when there's a bye week, you won't have a tight end that actually scores points. So there you go. I like your running backs, though. High upside, high volume. These aren't bad wide receivers either. All solid wide receivers. And you do have the best set of quarterbacks. It's just only one of them scores. Tony, it's not bad. It's not bad at all, Master Blaster. Who is your running back, Tony? Potter, my lifelong friend, leader of the Skunk Bowl, one of my other fantasy leagues. Dude, you just drafted too many running backs, man. So the way it works with underdog scoring, 3 wide receivers play, 2 running backs, and then a flex. So a 4th wide receiver or a 3rd running back or a 2nd tight end will play. So if Cole Kmet and George Kittle both ball out on Potter's team, they'll both score. Okay. So really, the best strategy is to get a bunch of good wide receivers. And the best thing I like about Potter's draft is Ryan Tannehill is the most underrated quarterback in fantasy. And he stacked them with 2 elite wide receivers. I think whoever drafted Derrick Henry is going to be in trouble. Let's see who drafted Derrick Henry. I can pull it up right here. I think the 2nd pick drafted Derrick Henry, and that was Roger Dodger, one of our best viewers. I think Derrick Henry is going to regress like crazy. Okay. Steven. Everyone welcome Steven to PHL. Okay. One of my good friends, Steven. Steven Muscle is, for those that don't know what Steven looks like, he looks like a guy that would go with Steven Muscle as his name. So Steven's a close friend. We've been for Deshaun Watson is actually not that bad. I don't think he's going to play, though. But the fact that you got him at pick number 139, that's a little bit of a reach, not going to lie. But I do think you actually got the 2 best starting quarterbacks. And look at your wide receivers, dude. This is filthy, okay? The fact that you got Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, and CeeDee Lamb, these 3 guys could be the 3 best wide receivers in fantasy this year. I think CeeDee Lamb will be a top 5 wide receiver in fantasy, and you stack them with Dak. I like it. I just think you put too many running backs. I really do. I think if you would have gone with an extra wide receiver or an extra, I like your tight ends, though. I think Cooper will be okay. And if Kyle Pitts hits, you're going to win the league. That's a risk with Kyle Pitts. You're getting a rookie. Isn't that crazy, John? Not only did Alvin Kamara drop, but you also had a drop in Marquez Callaway. Okay? Let's pull up Potter's team again. That's such a crazy drop, dude. Also, shout out to my guy, Dane. One of my best buds. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Let's pull up Big Shot KC. This was probably my least favorite draft, not going to lie. Took Jimmy Garoppolo. My guy, Trey Lance, is going to take his spot. Tom Brady, a little overrated in fantasy this year. Jalen Hurts, accuracy issues. Derek Carr's not bad. Clyde. See, look, I'm not going to lie. Bone with some reaches. Big Shot KC with some reaches here. Okay. You did take Clyde. I was going to draft Clyde in this league, but if you're drafting him 10, I don't like your wide receivers, and you drafted 5 tight ends, which is old. This was actually going to be my second tight end, though. Blake Jarwin. Not bad, though. Best ball is a little tough to draft if you've never done it. And the craziest thing about best ball is that these leagues get wild. So here's the championship team, okay? Steven's got a filthy team. To get CeeDee Lamb, wide receivers are far the best. This is going to be your winning fantasy football team, even though I did not want Terry McLaurin. I got him. And not a bad ADP. This is going to be my league winner right here. Trey Lance. Be ready for the Trey Lance hype train. Don't like my tight ends, even though Donald Parham is like an elite athlete. You guys are looking at the championship team right here. Ryan Fitzmagic is going to put up nasty numbers. Also banking on a Zeke injury. Got the A.J. Dillon handcuff right here. There you go. I got a team in a $25 league with 4 QBs. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Johnny thinks Steven's team is going to win. There you go, Steven. This is an objective viewer. Doesn't even know Steven. He's going with Steven. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If we'll see if we'll do one on Tuesday. We might wait till next Saturday. But if you guys want to do another draft on Tuesday, we'll do it. Okay. For those that didn't get the opportunity to draft tonight, I know a few of you did not get that opportunity. So we will get to do it on Tuesday night. So if you didn't get to draft tonight, we will get to do it again on Tuesday night. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Once again, a lot of LSU football, a lot of fantasy football. I know a lot of you like to play fantasy. And yeah. Let me pull this up really quickly. Once again, get your shirts now. This is the last call for shirts for you to get them shipped in by the time of the season opener. Okay, if you order this shirt right now, it should get in on time by the season opener. Okay, not making any promises, but it should. Okay. We'll drop we should be dropping another Substack tomorrow. Sure. Let me get y'all the right link for the right. Okay. Could be dropping another Substack tomorrow. All right, guys. We will talk to you on Tuesday night. A new video drops Monday night at 6 p.m. Championship week. Okay. Starts next week. Okay. On Monday, we'll drop our first week, part 1, championship week piece. Okay. 6 p.m. Central. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. Carne asada. Leonard, you're still in here. Carne asada tonight. Let's go. Let's go.